James, this is the last Porsche bar, okay?
Good. There's a lot of chocolate.
You don't need to eat the chocolate, I told you that.
You have to eat the chocolate.
We're just looking for a golden ticket, okay?
You're never gonna get one.
If we get a golden ticket, we get a Porsche 911 ST, and it's the only way we are ever going to get one.
10 tickets in the world, no chance, we're never lucky.
Can I just open it and see, okay? I have hope. Here we go.
I have to eat that too.
James. James. James.
Oh, didn't think I'd see that. Didn't think I'd see that.
We got the golden ticket. We got the golden ticket. We got the golden ticket. We got the golden ticket.
Yes!
This is it.
No!
We're gonna get an auto
ST.
We're gonna get it.
ST.
Oh, hyperventilating. I'm getting dizzy. Okay. 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 Yes! 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 James, there's an asterisk. Oh, actually, there's fine print. Congratulations. You have been given the opportunity to purchase a 911 ST. In order to be eligible, you must first purchase a 2023 Macan S. In doing so, you will be given the opportunity to purchase a 2025 Cayenne S. In doing so, you will be given the opportunity to purchase a 2026 911 Carrera. In doing so, you will be given the opportunity to purchase a 2027 911 Targa. In doing so, you will be given the opportunity to purchase a 911 Turbo. In doing so, you will be given the opportunity. Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And the blue blur making that sound is the new Porsche 911 S/T. A car with a name inspired by a Ford Focus, probably. It actually means sport touring. And it also means, yeah, even if you have a mystical golden ticket and $327,000 US, you probably still can't get one. But that's because this, a car from the company that makes the best sports cars, has all the ingredients to be the best road-going sports car they've ever made. That would crown it the king of all sports cars, the top dog, the 5-star general. So if that's the general, what do privates look like? Okay, that sounded different in my head.
Okay, this is not a 911 ST. This is the new BRZ TS. So the letters are the same, but they're just switched. I've just brought it out because this concept is great. It's rear-wheel drive, manual, naturally aspirated. In fact, give or take in the new market, this car, or the base version, is the most affordable way to get that formula. I'm in the canyons right now, and I'm having a lot of fun. It's a blast. So, what in the hell happens when you take this formula and times the price by 10? Whoop-bam! Okay, it may look subdued from the outside, but it is quite the opposite experience in here. Because the ST doesn't have the heart of a GT3. No, it has the heart of a GT3 RS. It's a 9,000 RPM redline either way, but now horsepower coming from this 4-litre flat six. And the engine response, I mean, oh, it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. I don't know what the 0 to 60 time is, nor do I care. In the real world, this is just straight up mental. But it's not the speed that makes the ST, although that is part of it. It's the noise. I don't know what's going on to Andy Preuninger as he ages, the man in charge of the GT program. Maybe his ears are going, but for some reason, every GT we get into these days is louder than the last, apart from the GT4 RS, which is absolutely the banshee of the group. But the amount of sounds happening in this cabin, it's so race car, it's so motorsport. There's transmission noises, the sound on cam, on throttle, off throttle, even just there. That sounds like I'm in between radio stations. And I can't change it, there's no drive modes, because this is purity. And at the risk of sounding like a Slytherin, I kind of love that. This is such a beautiful motor. We've exalted the 4-litre flat six naturally aspirated engine in these cars for long enough. But I'll never get enough of it, and this rendition of it with the noises just makes it such a pleasure. And then there's the transmission. Well, we need to talk about manual transmissions for a second, actually.
James and I have a rather unpopular opinion. We think that not all manual transmissions are worth saving. And that's because not all manual transmissions are made equal. You can have a shifter that feels really good, but if it's connected to an engine that's been overladen with the concessions and complexities of turbocharging and fuel efficiency, there's rev hang, the whole experience is gooey and boring and dull. And sometimes it seems like manufacturers, they just half-ass the whole experience because they wanted to be able to say, ooh, they made a manual transmission, they're really down with it. So we find ourselves occasionally, even when a car comes with a manual transmission, recommending the automatic.
The ST is not one of those cars. This is a manual that has had a lot of care. And if you missed it at the beginning of the video, Pelotti have decided to support us on this episode. And I'm wearing the new Icona shoes, and these are more performance-oriented than the shift shoe you often see us wearing. And right now, that is paying dividends in this ST. Because the transmission is such a big part of the experience, and that's mostly because they've made a lot of changes.
The shift lever is 10mm shorter than the GT3's. They've changed the final drive ratio so it has shorter gearing, and they've replaced the dual mass flywheel and clutch with a much lighter single mass setup. Basically, they've taken the normal, if you can call it that, GT3 shifting experience and twisted its nipples.
So we still have the regular wonderful things that I'm expecting from a GT Porsche. The short shifter is beautiful, the things that I interact with, the clutch, intuitive, the biting point is obvious. But the other things are what make this special. The way that the revs fall in this car when you change gear. Rev hang, it's never even heard of rev hang. Lexus LFA. Except it's a manual. And who wouldn't want a manual LFA experience? I mean, to be fair, I still want it because this doesn't sound as good as the V10. But my God, I mean, the first to second shift, if you don't shift fast enough, you've lost your revs. You have to catch it. It's like its own little mini game, catch the revs. It's a very, very engaging experience. And then you've got the fact that the shorter gearing means you can actually enjoy more of the transmission. Instead of 80 miles an hour at the top of second gear, you're at 72. So in theory, for normal driving, when you get on the highway, you can pull onto it and redline twice into third gear before really being at a cheeky speed. The whole manual experience in this car is Porsche GT perfection. This is like feeding a gremlin after midnight. It just is so naughty. It makes you so naughty. It makes you so naughty. Oh, in so many ways. In so many ways. This is the perfect sports car. There is another thing that sort of plagues sports cars as well, and a lot of them get most of the stuff right, but oftentimes they're absolutely ruined by an overly stiff ride, and that's mostly because of weight. Let me explain. This is Thomas. Thomas is a car.
Why have you strapped eggs to the bottom of my
Because
feet?
the eggs represent the delicacy with which you can manage your own weight.
Okay.
So do some American football exercises with the tire.
Through here?
The sort of, yeah.
Like the
jump.
in and out?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah? That's pretty good.
I'm pretty proud of that, actually.
Yeah, but now we're gonna add weight.
What do you mean? Oh my God! Shit.
Now do it again.
Okay. Oh, going this way! Going this way!
Oh no!
Ouch.
He broke the eggs.
Okay, what James was actually doing there was trying to humiliate me, and he was feigning an explanation that as you increase weight in a car, it's not as light on its feet, unless you stiffen the suspension. And since I skip leg day, I don't have very stiff suspension. Ergo, I fell over. However, what Porsche has done with the ST is the exact opposite of that. They've made it light. They've made it really, really light. It's about 3,000 pounds, which means it's a tiny dancer. It's just a little light on its feet ballerina. It's wonderful to turn around the corners like this. Oh, and the engine and the shifts. It's the whole thing feels like it disappears beneath you. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful to drive. But the biggest thing is that since they made it light, they didn't need to stiffen the suspension to be able to control the mass. It doesn't even need to do leg day. It's actually the same spring and damper setup as the GT3, but the dampers have been tuned a lot softer. And even in the stiffest mode, which I'll click right now, it's perfect on a road, a real road, not a smooth racetrack. It absorbs the bumps and you feel the stiffness in the chassis as it just stays glued to the road, all the while communicating to you weight transfer, understeer, oversteer. It's just it's a much, much more engaging experience than a hyper stiff sports car, especially a heavy hyper stiff sports car. This is what sports cars used to feel like, and it's stupid that you have to pay this much money to get this experience now. And what's interesting is that This doesn't actually feel anywhere near as sharp as the regular GT3 or the Touring or the GT3 RS, because it actually has a slower steering ratio. Since they got rid of the rear wheel steering to save weight, they had to retune the steering. So it doesn't have that punch you in the gut, like tackled by a rugby player, hit as you turn into a corner. But I'm enjoying it for other reasons. I'm enjoying it for its weight and its weight transfer and its simplicity. It doesn't do anything unpredictably. I don't feel like there's any intervention that I don't want. I don't feel like the ratio is changing in the steering. I don't feel like I try and have to predict what the rear wheel steering is doing. Not that you really had to do that in the GT3, but in this, it's just another level of purity. It's a fantastic, absolutely brilliant, all-time great Porsche. And it f***ing better be. It's a lot of money. Ooh, she's hot.
Yeah.
She's hot.
You know, it's a workhorse, you got to work it.
What do you think?
So, this is weird. I've been fangirling over this.
Yeah.
On Instagram,
Yeah.
on our Discord.
Yeah.
In theory, this to me was going to be the ultimate sell your house, sell your kidneys. If there was ever a GT car of the new 992 lineup to get,
Yeah.
it's this.
Do you still think that?
No, somehow it's not my favorite one.
Interesting.
And I was sure it would be.
Interesting.
That's not to say like they're all.
Yeah.
They're
They're all up here.
But
No, there's a lot of things about this that I really, really, really like, okay?
Yeah.
I really like the suspension. I really like the way it kind of just floats through the corners and it feels light, it
Yes.
feels simple.
Suspension's a masterclass.
Right.
It's the full Porsche. Like, why can't everyone do it like Porsche? This
Yeah.
is now the new top.
It's a new top. Also, I lived with this car a little bit. I did like an hour and 45-minute drive on the highway, and I really like the lightweight flywheel and clutch, and I really like the experience it gives you there, but in terms of livability, obviously it's going to be a little bit compromised. It reminded me of my old E46 days. I put a lightweight flywheel and clutch on my BMW, and I ruined it.
It's got a thinner windscreen as well.
It does have a thinner windscreen. It's actually got a lot of lightweight parts.
So they've made it softer and more compliant.
Yes, and they made it lighter everywhere. So a thinner windscreen, as you said. This is the hood from the GT3 Touring,
Yes.
right? It's got, the doors are GT3 RS.
Yeah.
The fender and the roof are custom to this car, carbon fiber.
Yes, and then there's GT3 RS Visuck stuff going on as well.
Yeah, I
isn't
think the rear anti-roll bar is the carbon fiber GT3 RS Visuck package. Anyway, they did a lot of crap and they made it really, really light, and it shows. It drives amazing.
But it's loud.
The whole thing is boomy and loud. Oh, there goes the fan. It's finally happy.
Yeah. Yes, so it's lighter, and they've absolutely woken up the engine as much as they can in this car.
Yeah.
And the suspension is softer.
Yeah.
There's something just about the steering. The way they've decided to, or the way it's tuned, I haven't got as much confidence. Like when we got into the normal GT3, the new GT3, and we turned, we went,
Yeah.
what, no way!
Yeah, it
Well,
just
and we
cuts
waxed
in.
lyrical about the double wishbone, and
Yeah.
and even though this has that, somehow the way they've tuned it, there's just that off-center feel is not there for me.
Right.
So
Fair enough. I agree. What about the way it looks? What do you think?
So the GT3 Touring was already the if you know, you know car. Right?
Yeah.
And the only way to make something more if you know is to make what's going on inside even crazier. And that's what this is.
So it's like an IKYKYKIKYK?
Yeah. Add loads more letters. Okay. Don't ask us what they are.
I don't know they are.
But yeah, I mean, I've spent hours on the configurator for this. Of course I have. I think
Yeah.
I've done 10,000 hours. Like if this was a pilot's license, I would have a pilot's license in Porsche configurators. There's so much you can do. I personally wouldn't do the decal. It's great to honor the years of 911, but
I don't know. I think it's cool. Maybe I wouldn't do it.
But
I think it's boring. I'm back up.
No,
I'm admitting it.
No,
I'm admitting it.
If you know,
I
you
think it's-
know.
I
if
don't
you make
care
it
about
exciting,
that.
then you know.
Have
There's no
you
ifs.
seen the GT3 RS?
But there's no ifs.
It's insane.
Yeah. That's just a YK.
You know exactly. Everyone knows. You look at it and you go like, that's a sports car.
No, this is it. This is the subtle hint you get.
You know what bothers me about the way it looks? I know what it is. Is what Porsche has done here is they've made a simple, naturally aspirated, manual, light 911. This is the 911 Carrera. That's what this should be. It should not be $500,000 or whatever. You should be able to get one. It should have 200 less horsepower. It should be 95 grand, and this is the 911. That's why I don't like it.
And then Porsche goes immediately out of business. It's dripping in desirability.
dripping.
I guess.
And like even things that would normally seem a bit chintzy,
See the GT3 RS?
like the gold on the 911 ST.
Yeah, it works on this.
It works because it's the ultimate. Like,
Yeah,
it feels
yeah.
like Call of Duty AK-47 1,000 kills or whatever it is. That's why you never played COD?
No, but I played GoldenEye, and you get a golden gun.
There you go.
And that's pretty cool.
This is the golden gun of the lineup.
Yeah.
That can't possibly be the normal Carrera because then it's not special anymore.
Yeah.
What you want is something that's really special
Yeah.
for everyone. If everything's
Yes!
special, no,
Yes, that's what I want!
then nothing's special.
But we can all enjoy. I want to look at the interior. Just get in the car. Okay. All right. So I have a strangely fundamental problem with the interior of this.
Okay.
Okay.
Not the first time we've been in this interior, though.
No. It's otherwise very much just a 911 G3 with some leather and a badge and some stuff and the green gauges. But
Cool
I
badge.
think this should be way more stripped out.
It's missing things.
It's not missing
There's
enough
no
stuff.
dial on the steering wheel there.
There's no modes.
Yeah, there's just this.
But that's not enough. I want this gone.
It's nothing
No, I want
good
it.
enough for you.
I want it gone.
You want
I want these doors to be
Yeah.
like the flat card doors with a pull through that is not leather wrapped. This is unnecessary weight. Look at that. Who needs that?
What you want is a Nimbus 2000.
I don't want a radio.
You want a broomstick.
You can't hear the radio when you drive this car. It's way too loud.
I don't mind this. So I see what you're saying. You're saying this is too much like sport classic. The turbo with the manual.
Yeah.
That's the fancy fast.
Yeah.
You want this to be. Yeah, but then it's a GT3.
I think no. I think this should be the purest distillation of a road-going sports car that's possible. So it
If
should
you're-
be
if-
even lighter. No radio.
If you're the GT division and you're watching this, this is proof you can never make anyone happy.
I was like, guy, I love the car. It's honestly the best sports car I've ever driven. But I'm just saying, I'd want it to be even more intense. I'm already saying you're making so many sacrifices for the lightweight flywheel and all
but
that
why?
stuff.
So you're saying if you lost a couple of pounds in leather, it would make a difference?
Yeah, sure. You could lose a lot of pounds.
This is $500,000. So you want to feel like you've got something expensive. It has to feel expensive somewhere.
It would be the one that goes for auction in 20 years for $1 million if it was super stripped out, right?
You're just gonna get a GT3 Cup car. That's what we're gonna get you.
Hey, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. And, hey, you don't
straight
need-
cut gears. Give me the whole thing.
This is a Euro spec, so the roll cage. I don't think we would get that in Canada.
It looks
or
really
North
cool.
America.
It looks
Yeah.
really cool.
We've got the bucket seats.
Yep.
I wouldn't strip this out anymore. I love the simple steering wheel. I've missed that.
No, this is really nice.
Although the GT3 RS, with the way you control the things and the 4 things, that's also really fun.
Oh yeah. It's a different type of fun though.
Yeah.
This is simple, pure. That's no, not Porsche. I didn't even say Porsche. Don't ask me that. The seats get a little uncomfortable on long journeys, but that's not unique to this. And they squeak. Have you heard the rattle squeak?
This
kind of a
car's
constant
been
creep.
through hell, but I guess they would go. Well, 100 of them are going to be
I
tracked.
got 7,000 miles on it.
Yeah, and then the other 1,800 are going to be in one of those big,
Yeah.
big bubbles.
Big bubbles.
And then Whistling Diesel's going to throw shovels at it.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to.
Yeah, no, I
So
know.
those seats won't squeak.
It's a shame. But no, listen, I agree. I'm just saying that I think we need to have it fully stripped out, but it's obviously very nice in here. It's extremely luxurious, right? It feels different to other GT3s.
All I ever needed was 9,000 RPM.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 9,000 RPM, that little thingy right there, 3 pedals, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, except my favorite GT car doesn't even have that.
Oh, interesting. I actually don't know what my favorite GT car is, and I think maybe by the time I record conclusion voiceover, maybe I'll know.
I lied. I still don't know. On one hand, the ST represents everything I love about Porsche. Simple, naturally aspirated manual sports cars without any fancy gadgets. But it also represents what I don't like, which is the really good cars being really hard to get and afford. So I think my favorite GT Porsche isn't a GT Porsche at all. It's a simple, cheaper, slower, naturally aspirated 911 that's inspired by the best parts of all the GT cars currently on sale, and it all costs $50,000 and you can walk onto a dealer lot and buy one easily. So my favorite is, I guess, a car that doesn't exist.
Wow, highly conclusive, Thomas, and sage buying advice. Nice. For me, it's probably the GT3 RS. Previous gen, I probably would have said the GT3, but the new GT3 RS is so unapologetic and maxed out, I just love it. The ST is very close though. It's also more livable than the GT3 RS and even the GT3, less track oriented, but also not? Like, it rides softer than a GT3, but it's louder in the cabin. It's also quicker and lighter, but then the steering has been dulled down a bit. The manual experience is more engaging, but the other stuff kind of feels more preference-based, or use case perhaps. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe Andy Preuninger just wanted to make his favourite version of a 992.1 911. Either way, the ST is spectacular.
And a big thanks to Pelote for sponsoring this video. We have been wearing the new Icona shoe, and they've been pretty great so far.
And I've decided that these are the perfect match for this car because these are the 911 ST of the Pelote range.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
Pretty simple, really. The footprint is a bit more like the endurance shoe, the racing stuff. That's your GT3 RS, but they look like the drift/shift shoe put together. So that's your 911 Carrera, GTS, maybe GT3 Touring if you want to push it.
Yeah.
But they're more comfortable as well. So on the outside, Carrera, normal 911.
Yeah.
On the inside, GT3 RS. Vis-a-vis, ergo, 911 ST.
I didn't understand that, but I like the shoes. Yeah. We got it. We got it. We got the ticket. We got the ticket. Did you just blow that into pieces? Yeah, you did. Okay. Sake.
We were recording at least.
Yeah, we were.